Skyrim, Loot Management. Intro. Hello, tubers. In any game I play, I always end up being the willing, habitual loot goblin. After any encounter or boss fight, it's always just about loot. Yes, completing the mission or beating the boss is interesting, but the loot after that is even more interesting. It's always about loot. Loot, loot, loot. But that's okay. That's how I enjoy my games. However, being the loot goblin that I am, there's always that one boss that makes me quit the game. It is the one and only, the dreaded loot overload. Tan tan tan. It's not one uber boss to beat, it is that constant, incessant annoyance of not being able to carry more loot, mission after mission, cave after cave. The game devolves into the constant schlepping of loot from the mission to the traders or to the house, and what is supposed to be a battle for a planet or beating an evil scourge ends up as a glamorized parcel delivery service, just moving inventory around. And so I move on to other games. That's the same with Skyrim. However, Skyrim, among all the other games I played, provides some features that makes this loot glut a bit easier to deal with. This video is a guide on how to beat loot overload and be the uber loot goblin that we all aspire to be. For simplicity, let's assume the carry weight in Skyrim is in pounds. They never mention it in the game, it's just carry weight. Let's just call it pounds. And let's just call septims, the currency in Skyrim, as gold. Step 1. Stamina. Stamina is not only useful for combat. Each point of stamina allows us to carry 5 pounds more weight. So if we're aspiring to boogie a lot of booty, we need to up our stamina every now and then. Step 2. Gear. There are 4 standard gear that can improve carry weight. These are the greaves or gloves or gauntlets or whatever we have in our hands. In this example, I don't have that on me because I'm playing a brawler build, so that's a handicap I've accepted in this playthrough. But in your playthrough, you can enchant whatever you have in your hands to add carry weight. The second gear are the boots, as shown here. And then we can also use a necklace and a ring. In theory, if each of these items add 21 pounds to my carry weight, this will total 84 pounds of additional carry. Of course, we need to have the skill and materials to do enchantments, as well as knowing the Fortify carry weight enchantment. Yes, while these 4 items can have some other enchantment, such as weapons or sneak, for me, loot overload is the single most annoying hurdle in this game, so I give this priority. There are also a few special gear that help with carry weight, like this Volsung or the Thief's Hood from the Thieves Guild. Also, let's get a backpack. My preferred backpack is the Adventurer backpack because it adds 20 stamina on top of the 75 additional pounds of carry weight. Note though, the 20 stamina doesn't translate to more carry weight. The pack just provides a default 75 pounds plus 20 more stamina. Step 3. Loot housekeeping and management. We need to get a house or a room as soon as we can, preferably one with a smelter, smithing equipment, cooking spit, enchantment and alchemy stations, and some boxes for storage. As soon as we get home, we need to process our stuff, turn our ores into ingots, raw food into cooked food, make our potions, store our ingots, and fill soul gems into the proper containers. In this example, I got home with roughly 439 pounds, and after I did all this processing and housekeeping, I was down to 389 pounds. That means by processing my stuff, I saved 50 pounds. Also, before going out on an adventure, I make sure I'm in the right gear, especially the Fortify carry weight gear, to give me a total capacity of 731 pounds. That's 431 pounds more than our starting carry weight of 300 at the beginning of the game. That's more than double. We also need to be mindful of the stuff we are carrying. A soul gem may weigh only zero point 0.3 pounds, but if we are lugging around 20 pieces of the common soul gem, that's 6 pounds already. And how much more for the black, grand, greater, lesser, and petty variety? Either we store it back home or sell it away. No use lugging that many around in our missions. We need only one or two to charge our gear, and maybe 10 or so for soul captures. Step 4. Perks. There are three main perks that will improve carry weight. One comes from pickpocket. Once we have 50 points, we can unlock the extra pockets perk, carry 100 pounds more weight. If we're using heavy armor, with 70 points we can get the conditioning perk to make the armor we are wearing weightless. In my playthrough, I'm using heavy armor, and I noticed that when I reached level 70 in heavy armor, the perk automatically applies itself even if I haven't clicked the perk. So in your game, you might as well check if your armor weight is automatically deducted once you have reached the required level. If we're using light armor, with 50 pounds we can get the unhindered perk to achieve the same effect. Armor is 0 pounds. Two other perks can also help. As an example, here we see that in enchanting this ring, I'm going to gain 50 pounds of carry weight. But how come that the ring I am using has 21 pounds of carry weight? That's because before enchanting, I drink an enchanter's potion to add a bit more. 6 additional pounds per gear may look small, but if we have 4 items adding 6 pounds each, that totals 24 pounds, and that's one more armor or battle axe. This means that in improving our enchanting and alchemy, we have the opportunity to increase the stats of our gear. In the beginning, we can just buy these potions, but as we gain skills in alchemy and enchanting and we have the ingredients, we can make potions more potent than what we can buy. Step 5. Loot selection. For looting, a rule of thumb I use is 1 is to 10. 1 pound is to 10 gold, meaning for every pound I pick up, it must be worth at least 10 gold. As an example, let's look at this here sword. It weighs 10 pounds but is only worth 45 gold. It fails my 1 is to 10 check. It should be at least 100 gold, and yet it is only worth 45, so I don't pick it up. That assures me, more or less, that for every 100 pounds of loot I'm lugging around, I'm guaranteed at least 1,000 gold when I start selling. This was my mistake when I played Skyrim when it first came out, focusing on weapons that pound for pound would cost less than other items. With this rule of thumb, it's easy to go through loot. Some stuff are no-brainers like enchanted weapons and potions. I'm showing here a couple of examples of how I select loot. Step 6. Companion. For the anniversary edition of Skyrim, we can have a follower who can lug loot for us if we have exceeded our limit. That said, they also have a limit. But there's a glitch that even if they have reached their limit, we drop the item and ask them to pick it up, and they will still pick it up even if they have exceeded their weight limit. I rarely use this glitch because it's not simple to do, and it breaks the pace of the game. Also, I haven't proven it yet, but some followers seem to lug less loot than others. One example is Serana. For all her vampire powers, she seems to reach her weight limit faster than other followers. Step 7. The Steed Stone. Using the Steed Stone allows us to have 100 pounds more carry weight. It's located here in the map. The Steed Stone is west-northwest of Solitude. If you're a player who can manage leveling up quickly on the other skills, having 100 more pounds to carry early in the game can be helpful. Conclusion. There might be a few more tweaks available, like making potions for carry weight or bringing a horse, which would be helpful unless I'm in a cave or castle. But for my game, I'm happy with what I have described above. With this capacity, I don't have to be OCD about selling every last soul gem fragment or clean out all the sellable loot in my bag before starting out again. I feel like I'm playing a game, not running an inventory audit. I can go through one more mission or one more cave before turning in to dispose of my loot, so the game feels more of an adventure than a loot and sell routine. And while doing this video, I upgraded my armor from the 731 pounds of carry in changing my armor from Dwarven to Ebony. With improvements in smithing and enchanting, I bumped up my carry weight to 794. I did not expect to be posting more game videos, but here I am. Anyway, thank you for your time, and I hope this helps your game, and see you on the next video.